Hello, Manchester City fan. If you're a supporter of the team, you're in the right place because we're bringing you the latest updates on the club you love. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so and drop a like to help us continue delivering top-quality content about City. Now let's get to the important part. Lately, Manchester City has been going through a period of uncertainty regarding the upcoming season. Some of the team's key players have uncertain futures, leaving fans eagerly waiting to see what will happen with the squad. Among the most talked about names are Kevin De Bruyne, İlkay Gündoğan, and John Stones, pillars of the team who could be heading towards new chapters in their careers. Kevin De Bruyne, now 33, has been one of City's standout players, but this season has not been his best. Despite that, sources close to the player indicate that he is more than willing to stay at the Etihad Stadium and continue his journey with the club. His motivation is directly linked to his ambition to remain at the highest level and secure his place at the 2026 World Cup. Although speculation about his departure has been strong throughout the season, it seems the Belgian has no intention of leaving the team anytime soon. On the other hand, İlkay Gündoğan's future is more uncertain. His contract with City is about to expire, and the club has the option to extend it for another year. However, the main question revolves around the player's desire to explore new opportunities before retiring. Rumors suggest that Gündoğan is considering a move to Galatasaray in Turkey as part of his final years as a professional footballer. If this transfer materializes, it would be a major blow for City, as they would lose one of their most versatile and experienced players. And we must not forget John Stones, who is also facing an uncertain future. The 30-year-old defender has not been playing regularly, partly due to an injury that has kept him sidelined since City's Champions League clash against Real Madrid. Additionally, Stones was left out of England's World Cup qualifiers squad, further fueling speculation about his future. Rumors have surfaced suggesting City were considering selling Stones in the upcoming transfer window, but Pep Guardiola's words may have put an end to those speculations. Before the match against Brighton, Guardiola made a point of emphasizing that Stones is part of Manchester City's plans for next season. The manager firmly stated that the English defender will remain at the club, making it clear that he remains an important part of the squad. Guardiola also mentioned that City are not necessarily looking for numerous reinforcements, but rather making the right decisions for the future. Keeping Stones, therefore, seems to be a priority for the Catalan coach. Stones, who currently earns $200,000 per week, is under contract with Manchester City until 2026, and his experience at the club is undeniable. Since joining the Etihad in 2016, he has made 277 appearances. However, his recurring injuries and high wages have sparked discussions among fans about whether City should seek a more reliable defender. For many, selling Stones could free up resources to invest in other areas of the squad. Now, moving on to another hot topic in recent weeks, Manchester City are considering a potential change in goal. Ederson, who has been the club's first-choice goalkeeper for several seasons, is getting closer to the final year of his contract, and there are rumors that City could part ways with the Brazilian soon. This season has been somewhat challenging for City, with injuries and an overall sense that the team is losing its edge. This has put the club in a difficult position, at risk of missing out on the Champions League for the first time under Pep Guardiola's management. As a result, Manchester City are reportedly preparing for a rebuild next summer, which could involve some significant changes to the squad. Among the players who could be sold is Ederson himself, who at 30 may have reached the end of his cycle at the Etihad Stadium. Consequently, the club is looking for a top-class goalkeeper to take over the starting position, and one name is already gaining strong traction in the market: Michel de Gregorio. De Gregorio, a 27-year-old goalkeeper, has been shining in Serie A, particularly after his move to Juventus, where he has delivered outstanding performances. He was named the league's best goalkeeper last season while playing for Monza and has continued his impressive form at Juventus. One of his biggest strengths this season has been his ability to keep clean sheets, having already recorded 15 shutouts across all competitions, comfortably surpassing Ederson's numbers. De Gregorio's consistency has attracted plenty of attention, and even former Juventus goalkeeper Michelangelo Ramola has praised his presence in goal and his shot-stopping ability. The Italian keeper has proven to be an expert in preventing goals, which is one of City's main defensive priorities. However, there remains one lingering question about De Gregorio. Could he replicate Ederson's ability with the ball at his feet? Distribution is one of the most crucial aspects of a goalkeeper in Guardiola's system, and this is an area where Ederson excels. What is clear, though, is that De Gregorio has established himself as a very solid option in terms of shot stopping. If Manchester City decide to part ways with Ederson, Michel De Gregorio could be one of the most viable options for the future of the goalkeeping position at the Etihad. However, this would not be an easy signing. The goalkeeper recently rejected an offer from Liverpool, and it is unclear whether he would be willing to leave Juventus so soon. Nevertheless, City must keep a close eye on this situation and be ready to make a strong offer to bring De Gregorio into the squad. We continue with more important information for Manchester City fans. The team is going through a period of transition and challenges, but it is undeniable that the club has a solid foundation of players. What will determine success in the coming seasons is how Pep Guardiola will handle the necessary changes to keep the team competitive and ready to fight for all titles. The upcoming transfer window is one of the most crucial for Manchester City's future, with many decisions to be made and key players who could be moved. It is evident that the team has a certain reliance on long-standing players such as Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, and even Ederson. Each of them has been a fundamental part of the club's recent success, but as we have seen, wear and injuries can be limiting factors. Pep Guardiola's decision will be crucial in shaping Manchester City's future in the coming years. Will the Catalan manager be able to maintain the team's consistency that has led City to win major titles, or will it be necessary to rejuvenate the squad to ensure a new phase of success? Speaking of rejuvenating the squad, Manchester City has been making some strategic moves in recent times to strengthen the team's foundation. Players like Julian Alvarez, who arrived to be a major attacking force, have shown that they can be crucial to the team's future. The Argentine forward has stood out whenever he takes the field, and his increasing performances may indicate that City is ready to invest more in promising young talents. Moreover, Pep Guardiola has a history of working with young talents and giving them opportunities in the first team. Over the years, he has shown that he can bring out the best in potential players, helping them develop into essential pieces in City's system. With this in mind, next season could see more young players gaining space in the starting lineup, whether as reinforcements in key areas or as replacements for some of the more experienced players whose futures are uncertain. But the big question surrounding Manchester City's future is, will the team be able to maintain its level of competitiveness in the major leagues, especially in the Premier League, where the competition is always fierce? The answer to this question lies directly in the club's ability to adapt to changes and reinvent itself as the season demands. The challenge of maintaining a core of experienced players while also betting on promising youngsters will be fundamental for City to remain one of the most dominant clubs in Europe. Now let's return to a topic that has gained a lot of attention in recent weeks: the goalkeeper situation. We know that the goalkeeper position is vital for any top team, and Ederson has been one of Manchester City's key players in recent years. However, as we mentioned earlier, there are rumors that City may be considering parting ways with the Brazilian. This leads us to a deeper reflection on the goalkeeping situation at the club. Ederson's departure would not be easy for Manchester City. The goalkeeper has been one of the pillars of the defense and a central figure in Pep Guardiola's playing style, which values ball possession and precise distribution from the goalkeeper. The fact that Ederson is exceptionally skilled with his feet has made him one of the best in his position, playing a crucial role in building plays from the back. His ability to make long, accurate passes has been fundamental to the creation of many of City's goals, placing him among the elite goalkeepers in the world. However, it is possible that Manchester City, aware of the need for squad renewal, is evaluating alternatives for the future. Michel De Gregorio emerges as a viable option to take over the starting goalkeeper role. The Italian player has shown qualities that could fit well with City's playing style. His ability to keep clean sheets is remarkable, and his statistics in games without conceding goals are impressive, as we have mentioned. However, the main question is, will he be able to adapt to Guardiola's system, which demands much more from his goalkeepers than just the ability to stop shots? Ederson's skill with his feet is one of the greatest attributes he brings to the team, and it is difficult to find a goalkeeper with the same level of proficiency in distributing the ball so efficiently. Nevertheless, the fact that Gregorio is so solid in shot stopping could be a positive factor if City decides to invest in a new goalkeeper. The Italian has shown great progress in his career, and his adaptation to City's style could be a matter of time if he is signed. Another important point to consider is Gregorio's market value. The Italian goalkeeper is highly valued in the market, and his signing would not come cheap. Moreover, the rejection of an offer from Liverpool suggests that he may be hesitant to leave Juventus at this moment, making negotiations a bit more complex. However, if Manchester City is willing to invest in a new goalkeeper, Gregorio could be a choice that brings significant long-term returns. While Ederson's future remains uncertain, Manchester City's focus will undoubtedly be on the upcoming transfer window. As we mentioned, the team needs to make adjustments in several positions to ensure the club remains at the top. The search for players who can bring renewal to the squad is essential, but it will also be important to balance the arrival of new talents with the retention of key stars already fundamental to the team. There is no doubt that City needs reinforcements, especially if they want to continue competing at the highest level in both the Premier League and European competitions. The expectation is that Manchester City will be aggressive in the transfer window, looking to strengthen the squad where necessary. With some key players possibly leaving, the club may seek options that bring not only quality, but also depth to the team. Guardiola's strategy will be crucial to ensuring that City continues to be a dominant force in European football. To achieve this, careful and precise decisions will be needed, both in departures and signings. The upcoming season for Manchester City is shaping up to be one of the most important periods of the Guardiola era. With possible changes to the squad, the club faces challenges that could redefine its trajectory. But beyond the issues involving players like Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, and Ederson, another crucial factor that cannot be ignored is the impact of the transfer window on the team's structure. How will City balance the need to maintain a solid core while also refreshing the squad to tackle the challenges of the Premier League and the Champions League? Historically, Manchester City has been one of the smartest clubs in the transfer market. Guardiola and the board do not tend to act on impulse, always seeking strategic signings that fit perfectly into the team's system. A prime example of this is the arrival of players like Ruben Dias, who brought a new level of solidity to City's defense. However, the club also understands that in an increasingly dynamic footballing landscape, there is no room for complacency. The pressure to maintain a high level of performance is immense, especially as other Premier League clubs are also investing heavily. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta's leadership, has emerged as a strong contender, directly competing for the title. Liverpool, despite uncertainties regarding Jurgen Klopp's future, remains a dangerous opponent. And we cannot forget Newcastle, which, with the financial backing of its new ownership group, is building an increasingly competitive squad. With this in mind, City's board knows that they cannot afford any missteps in their upcoming moves. The club needs to strengthen certain key areas, particularly given the wear and tear on some of its most important players. The midfield, for instance, could become a major concern if Kevin De Bruyne indeed decides to leave or if his injuries continue to be a limiting factor. Pep Guardiola has already shown that he trusts young talents, but will that be enough to maintain the team's dominance? Another key issue is the future of Manchester City's attack. At present, Erling Haaland is the standout figure in the attacking department, but he cannot carry the team alone. Despite his incredible goal-scoring ability, the Norwegian needs support, which is why City's board may look to bring in more attacking options. Julian Alvarez has proven to be an excellent alternative, but there are rumors that he may be unhappy with his lack of regular starts. If Alvarez genuinely considers leaving, Manchester City will need to act quickly to find a suitable replacement. And this scenario is not far-fetched, as clubs from various European leagues have shown interest in the Argentine forward. Should he decide to seek a new challenge, City will have to be proactive in the market to ensure their attack remains one of the most lethal in Europe. Additionally, there is one factor that cannot be overlooked: financial fair play. Manchester City has already faced issues in the past concerning UEFA and Premier League financial regulations, and any aggressive movement in the market could draw scrutiny. This means the club must be strategic, pursuing deals that make sense not only from a sporting perspective but also financially. While all of this unfolds behind the scenes, City fans are also wondering about Pep Guardiola's future. The Spanish manager is under contract until 2025, but speculation has already begun regarding a potential departure before the deal expires. Guardiola has always been clear that he does not like to stay at a single club for too long, and the fact that he has already spent several seasons at Manchester City could suggest that he may soon seek a new challenge. If that happens, who could replace Guardiola? This is a question that worries many fans. Finding a manager who can maintain the level of excellence and implement a playing style as efficient as Guardiola's will not be an easy task. Among the possible candidates, names such as Xabi Alonso, currently at Bayer Leverkusen, have started to be speculated. However, any decision regarding a successor will only be made if Guardiola definitively chooses to leave. For now, though, Manchester City's priority is to ensure that the next season is a successful one. To achieve that, the club must make the right decisions both on and off the pitch. Squad renewal, strategic signings, and maintaining a strong core will be fundamental factors in determining what the future holds for the blue side of Manchester. And you, City fan, what do you think about all these possibilities? Do you believe the club is on the right path, or are urgent changes needed? Leave your comment and join the discussion. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about Manchester City. See you next time.